Alright guys, today I am going to be reviewing something a bit different than normal. No, I'm not going to be talking about video games today, but I'm going to be showing you my new addition to my Star Wars collection, which is this 1:1 scale Star Wars Greedo bust by Sideshow Collectibles. Now, let me just explain why I now own a 2-foot tall green alien statue in my room here. I saw the original Star Wars, well not quite the original, but the remake, or the remastering in 1997 in theaters, and I was captivated by the film. And it just so happens that my favorite scene, probably still till this day, out of all the Star Wars films, is the cantina scene in A New Hope. And I've always sort of gravitated towards liking minor characters that get a little bit of screen time, much more so than, you know, the main heroes or the main villains of films and games and such. And it just so happens that I had a strong liking for the character Greedo. There was just something about his look. He was green, and at the time when I was a kid, I really liked the color green. I liked his voice, the way he spoke, the way they portrayed him in the film, you know, confronting Han Solo and, of course, getting killed. And I always liked something about the character. So one of the very first Star Wars collectibles that I ever bought as a kid, I can't remember if this was the very first, but I know it was within, like, one of my first 3 Star Wars figures, was this Greedo right here. And that's what sort of kickstarted my whole collecting of Star Wars as a kid. And over the years, you know, I collected a lot of Star Wars stuff, but unfortunately, as years went by, I sort of, you know, I collect video games, obviously, and I collect a lot of Sonic stuff and video game memorabilia. So unfortunately, I have had to put my Star Wars collection aside. I have most of it packed up. The only thing I don't plan on packing up is my Greedo collection. I've kind of decided to only collect one character from Star Wars, and that's going to be Greedo. So, getting to the point of why I now own this, I did take a trip to Disney World with a few friends, Chris, Tom, and Jen, and we went to all the Disney parks. And when we went to Hollywood Studios, we planned it out to go on Star Wars Weekend. So, we go there on Star Wars Weekend, and we're having a lot of fun. But what was so great about being in Hollywood Studios during Star Wars Weekend was there was a lot of Star Wars festivities, and we went on Star Tours like 4 times. There's a lot of Star Wars characters walking around. There's Star Wars music throughout the whole theme park. The cantina music's playing, and I don't know, it just got me back into the Star Wars mood, and now you can see the 1:1 scale here. Look how big this guy is. But it just got me back into the Star Wars mood of things, and I hadn't felt that Star Wars feeling for quite some time, so they had a special part of the park called Darth's Mall, which was sort of an indoor Star Wars, I don't know, collectibles area where you can buy stuff. A lot of stuff was exclusive to the show. And I went in there and I'm like, okay, you know, I'll pick up one thing for Star Tours as sort of just a memento for that ride, because it was really awesome. And I said, alright, let me just look around and see if they have any Greedo stuff, because I decided that Greedo is the only character I'm going to continue to collect for, just for space reasons. And they didn't have any figures or anything like that, but they did have these. Now, of course, they're not the original paintings. They are high-quality prints, but I found this, which is limited to 100 of this particular size of the print. And you can see you got Han Solo in the reflection of Greedo's eyes, and I just thought that that was a really awesome painting. And of course, it comes with the certificate of authenticity, prove that it's authentic. And then I also got this one, which I like much, much more. It's limited to 250. And it's this awesome watercolor of Greedo. I just thought that that was amazing. This is the first one I found. This one also comes with a certificate. So I got those 2 items, and it just like, it snowballed from there. When I got home, I was thinking about not just Disney, but Star Tours, and, you know, getting that Star Wars feeling again. So I went, you know, and I was looking around at Greedo merchandise, and I did have some from the past. Of course, good friend Gamester81 about like 3 years ago hooked me up with some of his extra Greedo merchandise, which I definitely still appreciate. And I had some myself, but I found this, and this is like the holy grail of Greedo collectibles, and I've been babbling on enough here, so let me just get into showing you this thing. First of all, it is huge. I tried to dust it off the best I could because the previous owner left it a bit dusty, so if you see a little bit of dust on here, well, I've got most of it off though. But this guy here is huge. It's heavy, first of all, so I can't really lift this thing up too much. But this, I have to say, guys, out of all the statues that I own, this is the best one that I have in terms of the way it's constructed, just the way it looks. It's so lifelike, it's unbelievable. My absolute favorite part of this thing are the eyes. Now it's hard to tell from photos, but when you look at video, they're like these glass eyeballs that are sort of reflective and very, very eerie, and they're very creepy looking. Like, they look so real, as if, you know, you took insects' eyeballs and you magnified them up and you stuck them on here. It's just got this great effect where it's sort of psychedelic. And if you look closely inside, it's got sort of these, I don't know, you can see the inner webbings of the eyes. It's just such a great part of the statue. And the detail itself, I'll move it up a little bit here. The bumps on the head, the cracks in the skin, and then the back here, of course, you got his little, I guess, Greedo mohawk going on. This here is very delicate. You got to be very careful with this. And this is very hard to dust off. I couldn't really get in here and dust it. But these are all individual spikes coming out of his head here. And then another cool little feature about it is the mouth. It might be a little bit hard to tell in the video, but if you look, they put a gloss on the mouth here. I'll see if I can get the light to shine off, to give it sort of a wet, slimy look to his mouth. And the bust itself, the shoulders and the chest here, they use fabric. So this is a fabric vest, and then this here is sort of like a fake leather for his clothing. And of course, if you peel this down, they continue the detail work. And on the back here, this unvelcros. So if you ever wanted to see what Greedo's back looks like, there you go. Now I'm going to lift this up here so you guys can see this. He's very heavy. Is the base. As you can see on the bottom here, it says Star Wars Greedo on the nameplate. And then the base itself is a pretty basic, I don't know, like metallic metal sort of base with some detailing on there to give it a Star Wars look to it. Yeah, this guy is limited to 300 in the world, so they only made 300 of these. The boxes are hand numbered. And speaking of the box, I'm going to show that to you guys really fast. It's very big, so it's going to be hard for me to get this all in frame here. But this is the box. Very, very big box, by the way. And flip it around. On the back, they just got some profilings of Greedo and a little brief synopsis of the character. I'll just move it back so you guys can see. It's the box. Very big. But that's just a quick video, guys. I wanted to show you of this statue, and I'm sure there's some Star Wars collectors out there that might want to know the dimensions of this. It is about 23 inches tall, and it's about 12 inches across, so if you're thinking about picking one of these up, if you can find one, and you want to stick it on a shelf or something, those are the dimensions. But I'm very happy to own this. For now, this is going to be his temporary spot until I can figure out a place to set up my Greedo collection and display it more properly. But yeah, I absolutely love this thing, and I just love the character Greedo. I don't know what it is, and just my trip to Disney really kickstarted the whole thing all over again. So yeah, there you go, guys. Thanks for watching as usual, and oh yeah, Greedo shirt. Just to compliment the video. Thanks for watching, guys.